Patshow is neither affiliated with the NFL nor the New England Patriots. It is what it is. Da 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 da, Amendola. Da 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 da, we're going to the Super Bowl. Da 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 da, time to destroy Nick Foles. Da 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 da, the Foo Fighters have Dave Grohl. Yeah, let's do it. All right, man, I have stuff to run with. I'm still 3/4 in the bag. I'm tanked. I did my job. I drank the storm. You guys are pumped and primed. Won an AFC championship. 12 AFC championships. 8 freaking Super Bowls for Tom Brady. 50% of his full seasons, he goes to the big game. My God, I can't even say 50% of what I intend to correctly. Oh my God, Tom Brady's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Welcome to an all AFC champs, all pre-Super Bowl 52, how do you do edition of Patshow. This week, hot takedowns, best of Tweedia, and so much more. Fantastic Foxborough football analysis. So without any more words, let's get down to do the deed. Here we go. Hit that theme song, you hard. 28. Wow. Let's go. Patshow. Let's go. Patshow. Talk about Brady and Amendola. Talk about Gronk and the fucking dead. Talk about Amendola and the Belichick. And talk about Belichick and his team. Let's go. Patshow. Let's go. Patshow. Let's go. Patshow! Let's go! Patshow! Yeah! Coming to you live from the beautiful studios of Media Boss here in Framingham, Massachusetts. We welcome you to the latest edition of the AFC Championship headed to Super Bowl. Patshow, what do you know? My gosh, I didn't see that coming. I know, man. It's just getting so old, isn't it?
I'm not even going to watch the Super Bowl, probably.
I know. Why? I mean, I know it's going to happen. Why do we watch any of these games? Hey, everybody, welcome to Patshow. Nick Stevens, a.k.a. your old pal Fitzy here, alongside the Minister of Pat's Propaganda, Mike Dussault. That's right. Football freaks, gridiron geeks, Pat's pals the world over. We welcome you to the latest edition of Patshow. We're going to celebrate all the glory of the all too predictable, been there, done that, comeback-orific Patriots win over the Jags in the AFC Championship. We'll preview Super Bowl 52. And, of course, your questions, comments, and so much more. Hit us up live early and often right here. Right there. Nope, not on my Word doc. On the Facebook page. Hit us up right there, and we will keep in touch with you guys all show long. That and so much more. Mike?
Yes.
It's football time. It's football time. Let's get into it.
All right, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into it, Coach. Relax. It's not like it's open heart surgery or anything. Good Lord. Guys, if the Pats would just finally get along, I think they could really accomplish something, okay? I'm wearing, I just want to point it out to everybody, yes, the Superman of our lives, of our world, right here. The Tom Brady 12. Why? Because Brady is 12. Because Brady's been at 12 AFC championships. And how many in the hand?
12 stitches!
12 stitches, bitches. That's right. As a matter of fact, not only did I take the Patriot pledge and not use my right hand all weekend long last weekend until I heard Tommy was good to go for the game. People all over the world are now just getting like, it's the new Tide Pod Challenge. Yeah. Everyone's getting 12 stitches in their thumb just to see if they can be as awesome as Tom Brady. That would be a terrible.
Are they also getting it dislocated and bent back? Because that might
When you heard about by the way, before we get into our rundown of the AFC Championship, when you first heard about exactly how grisly, last week, as soon as we do the show last week, of course, we finish up a great AFC Championship preview Patshow, and then the next day, boom comes the big story. Boom goes the dynamite of Thumbgate, Handgate, whatever you want to call it. And there were a million different versions. I got all sorts of bad intel, people sliding into the DMs like, it was this running back.
Bad intel.
This guy did that.
Scared me to death with some text messages. Hoyer time. I'm like, what?
No, I died 7 different pre-AFC Championship deaths. Just hearing it was this running back. Marion Butts came back. It was Bam Bam Bigelow. It was just so many. It was 12 stitches, 4 stitches. Yeah. So many different stories. You didn't know who to trust or what to believe. Yeah. All that mattered was when we started hearing Friday night that the hand was kind of banged up and he was able to sling it around the yard. I was so convinced for a while, A, that Hoyer was starting, but B, it was all a giant viral promo by Under Armour just to sell those $35 red gloves. I was 100% convinced.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like the Patriots controlled the narrative this week, and like, yeah, it's a bummer that it took a Brady injury for them to have to do that. But when you look at the Wickersham week, where it was 10 days, all they're talking about that article, internal tension, and then last week all we got was like, we'll see. We'll see. Right. Playing coy, and it was. I mean, it was obviously a significant injury, but it was just. It was nice to see the Patriots kind of stringing the media along, and controlling the narrative instead of having to, play defense.
Getting out in front of the story as opposed to playing defense against Wickersham, as opposed to playing defense against Deflategate, and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I thought they did an awesome job with it last week as well. And we'll see officially became the new we're on to Cincinnati. Everything last week. Did anyone ask you a question and the answer was always, we'll see? Like, Dad, are you going to drive me to school now? We'll see. Why not, right?
3 out of 4 Super Bowls again. We'll see.
I'm sure there are tons of new "We'll See" T-shirts that you'll all be wearing. I would highly recommend you get your very stable genius right there at patspropaganda.com. Right before both of us get locked up in jail for violating every copyright in the world, get visited by the FBI, and spend the rest of our lives in patent jail. Let's check in with you guys and see what we have to say early and often here in the Patshow program.
We've got a good question, which I think is going to be on a lot of people's minds here, and that's from Tom Vargas. Thank you for your question, Tom. And that is, do you guys honestly
Scott Fargus's brother?
Scott Fargus. It's Grover Dill. No, Tom Fargus. Do you guys think Gronk will be back for the Super Bowl? I mean, we were talking about it a little bit here pregame. I mean, it's hard to say. Right. I mean, concussions, you never know. There's never, oh, he should be fine. It's just a torn blah blah blah. It could be. I don't know. I mean, I'm expecting that he will play though.
Right.
Because that's how I am.
Why does Gronk have to get hurt before the Super Bowl?
I know. Haven't we lived this story
already? Why does Gronk have to
get
knocked out of every other AFC championship like it's a bad Star Trek movie?
Well, you remember
every other one. It wasn't as bad as Pollard. Like, we all had a pretty good idea. But the funny thing is, when Pollard tackled him from behind before Super Bowl 46, he was there doing his dance like we're going to the ship. So if he was bouncing around, he must have just been like all toradoled up or something like that.
I remember. You remember like when they arrived for the Super Bowl, and he was like walking on the tarmac, and he had like the big boot on, and it was just all this like intrigue all week. So it's like, is he going to get off the plane this week, and he's going to be, in some kind of like protective headgear? I don't know.
And here's a good one. We were talking about this before the show as well. Do you think the player that hit Gronk should have been ejected from the game? That was safety Barry Church.
Damn right, he should have been ejected.
Wow.
God damn right.
And this is why everybody hates us, because we're going to the Super Bowl and we're still mad about that. Thank you, voice of angry, leftover, hungover Patriots fan. I actually think I'm a fan of the targeting rule in college. A ton of people, I always hear the same thing like, oh, it's football. It's just making a football move. It's Listen, when you get hit so hard that somebody asks you, like, where are you? What's your name? Thursday, no pickles, please. Like, yeah, you know what? There's a really good chance that you're going to think that maybe that guy should have been thrown out of the game as well. Because the thing that football lacks the most now is just good tackling. Yeah. This is just basic form. Like, I don't want to let my kids play football. I don't want to go off on this kind of tangent here, but I don't want my kids play football too. Yeah. Because if there's a bunch of kids that are still either looking to like get a hit on Twitter, get lots of views on Instagram. Used to be like, oh, there's your Sports Center play, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Gronk's an offensive lineman with wide receiver speed. But you don't tackle somebody by leading with your head.
Yeah.
Just wrap and drag. Concede the catch, wrap and drag, and live to fight another play.
Yeah.
That's how you lose football games.
It is.
It is how you lose them. So I like the targeting rule in college. You hit somebody like that, you make illegal contact, you spear, you concuss someone like that.
You're out of here.
Yeah. And if the Jags had won, according to the targeting rule, he would have missed the first half of the Super Bowl too.
Good. Well, lucky we don't have to worry about that. I think Nathan Kirshner here has a great idea. Disgruntled Vikings fans set off the fire alarm at the Eagles Hotel.
Absolutely. Breaking news, Patshow has just started a GoFundMe page for whatever Vikings fan wants to get sent to jail for setting off fire alarms at the Eagles Hotel. I am so 110% behind that.
Yeah.
Either that or there's already a couple of kids from Chelsea right now, or like from Everett, or just like somewhere around Boston. They're like, bro, my dad's got frequent flyer miles. We book a ticket out there the night before. We fly in, we pull it, We grab an Uber right back to the airport. We fly home. We're in time. We go to my sister's kega. Boom, done. Steakums for everyone. I'm 100% in on this. 100% in on that. Hey, we got 102 viewers. Thank you very much. I like it when we have as many viewers as my temperature right now, because I have the Irish flu. Hashtag didn't need the 7 Jack's Abbeys I had after the game Sunday.
Speaking of Jack's Abbey.
Hey, the post game. This is our review of the game, and of course it's brought to you by our good friends at Jack's Abbey, who make a delicious, crushable, refreshing post-shift Pilsner. Pick up a 6-pack at your local Packy today. All right. Let's just work our way through it.
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't think either of us bought into the narrative that Bortles was going to Bortles down the side of his leg, that he was just going to Bortles the game up, that Bortles had no place in the AFC Championship. They were super conservative against Buffalo. He played a great game when he had to do what was asked of him against Pittsburgh. And yes, Pittsburgh's defense was, just warm, spreadable butter. Mm-hmm. But I thought that they had just enough. And they had a great game plan. They scripted their plays early. They subbed in Deion Grant for Yeldon.
Who killed the Patriots in the preseason as well.
Deion Grant did?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Big run. I think we broke it down on one of the first breakdown zones, actually.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, we actually did something on this thing aside from just unbelievable.
This is real analysis, people. We're really doing it.
But they were getting to Brady. By late in the first half, we started seeing Tom doing his phantom seeing.
He just doesn't look comfortable in the pocket anymore.
Yeah, he was doing the crazy Ronald dance from Can't Buy Me Love.
The African Anteater dance.
And we were,
Mention the nerd. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on, Can't Buy Me Love. It's a classic.
You crapped at my house, Ronald. You crapped at my house. Well, Bortles came in and crapped on Ronald's house. And I was getting a little nervous.
Yeah.
I think all of us were legit nervous midway through the second quarter.
I was super impressed with the Jags.
Yeah.
It was, it's how you draw it up. They did exactly what they needed to do. They came in, they didn't play scared. They had, good energy about them. We're not going to get pushed around. And, you haven't really seen that except for the 10 Jets when they came in and the 12 Ravens. And both those teams, it's that thing where it's well, only the Ravens are not afraid of the Patriots. The Jags came in and they did not play afraid of the Patriots.
Right.
And they did everything they needed to do for 50 minutes.
And it wasn't because they were playing with Tom Coughlin's game plan. I heard a really good interview, everyone was saying this is Coughlin doing it, not Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone clearly coached that team.
Yeah, I know.
Nathaniel Hackett, he did. There were times where they were reasonably effective. They were stout and solid. And Nathaniel Hackett's game plan was working out well.
Yeah, he did a good job.
The defensive coordinator, Todd Wash, comes from the Seattle Seahawks school, like the Gus Bradleys. And they had that cover 3 working, and they had the 4 guys could get home. You saw that they were pushing the receivers around. They were tight on Gronk. Everything that we thought could be the worst-case scenario for how Jacksonville could effectively stop or mitigate the Patriots' gains was happening. And then it's 14-10. Thank the Zod they got that touchdown.
Huge.
And I tweeted this out afterwards. I think a lot of people were also on board with this. A lot of online chatter, and they're still talking about it today, that when they had 2 timeouts left in 55 seconds, we saw how well they moved the ball later in the game with only 2 minutes left. You're in Foxborough. You're playing the Pats. You've read this script before. You've seen this movie. You know how this plays out. When you got 55 seconds and 2 timeouts left in Foxborough and a 4-point lead, what do, crazy hungover fat Pat Scott?
Go for it. You
That's right. You go
told
for
you that.
And
for it.
How many times have the Patriots given up points late in a half? That's just so them that they would have oh God, and they've got 2 shots to the end zone and then they kick the field goal and it's what 23-10 now. It's
Brady
just,
lives for that chance, Mike. To be able to and the Jags won the kickoff, so
they were getting the ball back,
been
double score. It could have been 30-10 before you know it. Yeah, I know.
They would have gone for it twice?
It's some alternate.
Alternate
universe.
I know. No, but it could have been 17-10 or 20-10 because they did point to start the second half off as well, and it was 17-10 early in the third quarter.
Yeah.
You can't get conservative. They started out foot on the gas. They went balls to the wall. And you got to say footballs to the wall if you're going to win that game, because if you give them just enough of a chance to come back, and now we get into the second half, what did we see?
We saw probably you're going to lose track of all these Brady comebacks. Someday, you're going to be well, there was that one, and you're just listing them off. But this one I really don't think should be swept under the rug because it might have been his most impressive considering no Edelman, no Gronk, no running game to speak of. It was basically 12 stitches.
Right.
You know,
No Edelman, no Gronk, no problem.
Yeah.
By the way, I drive a tow truck, but the Pats are so awesome they make me feel like I'm spectacular.
That is the. I'll take the attitude of most everyone at Gillette Stadium for 600, Alex.
and maybe like some Facebook Live podcast hosts as well.
yeah.
You know, like,
The deficiencies in my life are pretty much made up by how amazing Belichick is at what he does.
wow, we just got depressing and real here for a second. and that'll end Patshow. But you know, I mean, and look, Danny Amendola. I mean, good God, that guy just played out of his mind. I mean, we knew he was clutch. From what he came as like, oh, is he going to replace Wes Welker? And, you know, all the pressure and everything that was kind of put on him. And then he kind of got surpassed by Edelman. But for him to just continually come up big in the biggest moments, in the biggest games, 4th and 2, 3rd and 18, 2 touchdowns, returned the punt. I mean, he's on the Mount Rushmore now for sure.
I definitely think he now makes, I mean, there's probably too many faces. Again, just another one of those things where so many of these other football towns and, you know, gridiron cities across the country just like, we wish we could just like win a playoff game. Buffalo hasn't won one. And we're like, now how many faces are we going to carve into our postseason Rushmore? All right, you ready for this? Here's the greatest, before we get to your questions, we got some great comments here. Here's the greatest thing I read on Reddit this week. I'm not sure if this came from Paul, if you tipped me off to this or not. I saw this on Pat's Reddit earlier this week. This is amazing. Tom Brady has now thrown for enough postseason yards, I think it's 9,726, that he's thrown for enough yards to actually scale Mount Everest.
That seems like it would be tedious.
I mean, it's just stupid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Brady's throwing for so many postseason yards, which helps me sleep at night because I haven't actually shared a bed with my wife in 15 years. As long as Brady's been going to the... Actually, it was 2002, last time he missed the playoffs and played a full season. Whatever, it's all good.
Wow, you know...
I got Mick Smith real quick, Mike. He wanted you to know that he thinks the Jags' biggest mistakes, the string of penalties they took when they sort of seemed to lose their way. The delay of game out of a timeout, taking a knee before the half, and then running the exact same 3 plays every drive in the fourth quarter. I heard a couple people say it's like the Jags emptied the playbook in the first half, and then when they got to 55 seconds, it was like,
we got nothing left.
Dave, did you bring any plays? No.
All we got left is the Neil.
John, Shad Khan.
Neil on it.
Neil, all right, we're just going to, all right, we'll take the second half.
Yeah, I just got a comment here from Lane Dussault. Interesting name. She seems like a nice person. But Lane says, Emin does all. I mean, and
I see.
I think my wife just came up with our next T-shirt
An
right
Amendoer. I'm an Amendoer, not an Amendonter.
Bring milk and eggs home.
Yeah, I was just going to say, why is it always eggs and milk? Why can't it be like quinoa and olive oil? Why can't?
No.
Whatever. Yeah.
My wife would be boots and my phone. Bring my boots and my phone. That's
Wow,
what she does.
where'd she stay last night?
So
everything's going great.
It's just a crazy game. I mean, everybody was sweating it, right? I mean, but that's just how it goes in these things. And it felt like to me, and I'm gonna make a little reference here, like it felt kind of like one of the new Star Wars movies where, like the old ones you're used to, like, oh, we're gonna play the Steelers, oh, we're gonna play the Colts, oh, we're gonna play the Broncos. Like you've seen those movies before. This was a new movie with like people that you don't really hate yet. You're not really sure. You're not really like, oh, is Jalen Ramsey the villain yet? You're like, I kind of don't like him, but he's good. And you know, so it just felt like something new that you weren't really used to, and especially where we just haven't had a real good AFC Championship game in a while, especially in New England.
Right.
It just felt fresh and kind of exciting and kind of reinvigorating in little ways as a fan, where you're like, all right, another generation's coming up with challengers that we have to smash.
Yeah, the Jags, you said you fell down a Wayne's World hole this weekend. You got Shawshank by that movie. I'll go full Noah's Arcade. The Jags, they're fresh, they're hip.
Where the beats are, yeah.
The beats are, yeah, exactly. I was super impressed with the Jags by and large, though. I mean, yeah. And okay, the Jags, the just sort of like the worst play they could have made was at the end of the half. The best play that I saw happen in a series of like nice play calls, misdirection, solid pressure, good coverage. The Myles Jack play. I think we all thought the moment, like at the end of the second act in the screenplay of Patriots Jags, yet another Brady comeback, was McDaniels empties out the playbook yet again.
All is lost.
And it was like when, remember the Eagles game a couple of years ago There was the play where Brady was like talking to the offensive line, and the ball got snapped to Blunt, I think, or to Deion Lewis or somebody, and then he laterals it to Dola, who throws it to Brady, who's wide open.
Yep.
And you're like, my God, they're emptying out the playbook for this. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and that's when McDaniels is at his best. The double pass that Deion Lewis starts running down the field with a convoy of blockers, and Myles Jack, wearing number 44, which was the age I turned 2 days before the AFC Championship. I was going to hate my year. Thanks a lot, Myles Jack. Strips him of the ball, and the refs whistled it dead. Just like in the Kansas City-Tennessee game when KC should have gotten the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
We benefit from the whistle
Yeah.
a little bit there.
It's clearly the refs were waiting to do that. They wanted to give the Patriots the game, and it just seemed like the perfect opportunity. I mean, it's so stupid that that's what people are talking about this. I mean, such a bang play. The guy couldn't. How does he keep track? He doesn't know where the ball came out. He sees the guy go down. He blows the whistle. You know, and like he's processing. Now is the time to employ the strategy to let the Patriots win right here. You know, like. It's just like when you have nothing left to complain about, you're going to complain about the refs, especially in that game where the refereeing was pretty straightforward. It was good. I mean, I don't know, there wasn't like some blatant stupid penalty, but people will find a call to complain about if they lose.
Yeah, it was a bang play. You know what the original bang play was?
Who?
Our American Cousin. That's what Lincoln was seeing at the Ford Theater.
Too soon. Too soon.
Wow, man, we're just dropping
It's
literary
Super Bowl
references.
week. I'm
like,
gonna start getting all the inappropriate. I'm literally working for the Patriots next week. I have to get all my inappropriate jokes out now because I got to keep it craftastic and squeaky clean next week.
I just cycled through every 80s movie, and I'm like, what the hell is that from? And then, you know,
Right.
it's an actual real history.
I get a reputation for.
Oh, God.
Hoodie
Yeah,
Davis
well,
question,
we're
too.
going to get to that, folks. Don't you worry.
But yeah, our Empire Strikes Back moment. We are all standing in the floating space freighter, looking out the window at Lando and Chewie taking off
yeah.
in the Millennium Falcon. When Deion Lewis fumbles, like, we're not sure if we're going to be able to come back from this. These are dark times.
Yeah.
The rebellion is now down to 8 people, and then they literally they stopped him again. The defense stepped up. I was reading a great little piece online earlier this morning about how in the second half, just same way McDaniels was emptying the playbook, Patricia was, whoa, I mean, I got this gig, but I better look good in the process.
Yeah.
And starts, you know, I'll use the ultimate coach term, like starts dialing up the blitz. And guys were coming at it. And Trey Flowers woke up, and Ricky Jean Francois. And James Harrison.
Yeah.
James Harrison. I mean, he's not from Earth. I mean, he was someone
He was
else's.
up the next morning doing
Did you watch
incline.
that? There's an Instagram video of Jay. He's such a hardo. He was incline pressing 335 pounds 7 times the morning after the AFC Championship. I took 7 Advil the morning after the AFC Championship.
And you didn't even play.
I didn't even play. Unreal. And then they get it's 20-10. We get into the fourth quarter. The defense plays really well. Gilmore is looking great. Rowe makes a couple of nice plays. And then the drive starts, and it just becomes the Brady Dola show, like you said earlier. 3rd and 18. Trey Wingo had an awesome tweet where he said, this was a little bit of a mind blower. How improbable was the Patriots' 3rd and 18 conversion in the fourth quarter Sunday? In the Brady-Belichick era, the Patriots had been 0 for 25 on 3rd and 15 or more in the postseason.
What the hell was the
Edelman's
Edelman
was
one?
third and Edelman's was 3rd and 14.
Yeah, we're going to break down that play in a little bit on the breakdown zone. Huge play again.
0 for 25 on 3rd and 15
Well,
or
I mean,
longer.
it's not a favorable down and distance. Nick,
Unbelievable.
if you're watching football. 3rd and 18, that's a long way to go.
I was told there would be no math. I haven't done any math since there were squares and triangles.
Yeah. A couple points. James Harrison, I think, has really transformed the defense, and he wasn't perfect in this game, especially in the first half. I thought he got picked on a tiny bit, but just that strength and that presence on the edge is just so what they lacked. And for all the analysis that goes into what the Patriots defense is or isn't in 2017, it's something different now with him in the mix, and it's just he's been such a huge pickup. He just looks like a mean person.
Right.
It's just so Patriots. It's like you look there and you're like, oh God, we're gonna run at that guy.
It's
He's an animal.
It's an edge.
He's an edge, and he obviously forced that fumble, and not that we recovered it, but just making impact plays, which was crazy.
It's a little bit of you know what it is? It's like a little 2001 Patriots. Even though he comes in with all the Steelers cologne, and that's where he belongs.
End of the line,
and I'm
done.
sorry. Right. It's a little Bobby Hamilton. It's a little Brian Cox. Just a little bit of that veteran something like.
Just squeeze
that's one of
out
the
a
guys
playoff
that
run.
like Belichick can trust to just like, I'm going to put you in there. I need you to do one of three, like set your edge, cover this guy. And like you said, the Jags did a nice job isolating Yeldon are getting running backs on him for screens.
They attacked. I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's like, you watch the Patriots defense, you know exactly where they struggled. And I felt like the Jags targeted them exactly what they needed to do. The underneath crossers, challenging the linebackers at the second level. And, and like you said, they did it. They just didn't do it. They needed 10 more minutes of it. And they
Brady to Dola towards the end. Amazing play after amazing play. 2 touchdowns. One very reminiscent of his touchdown in Super Bowl 51. And then the touchdown. I mean, how he gets so open. I was thinking maybe like Tayshaun Gibson and the guys in the back of the end zone there were thinking like, oh, that's a souvenir ball Brady just threw, because there's no way this 5'9", handsome little awesome gorgeous sliver of man
easy right Olivia Culpo
is going to be able to just leap into the air, catch it, contort his body, and then double toe tap in the back of the end zone. I am taking whatever money I have left over that I don't blow on Super Bowl 52, and I'm opening a bar called the Dola. It's gonna be a clutch establishment for handsome gentlemen only. Only handsome gentlemen need come to the Dola.
And former Miss Americas. That's you're only interestingly they ran the same play against the Jags to Amendola when they played him. What was it, last year? Somebody tweeted out. Yeah, they brought out the same thing.
You're right.
Same thing.
God, that's such a signature Patriots play. If you bought that play on Amazon, then in the suggested other plays you may like would be like the fake snap to Brady where he leaps up and Kevin Falk / Vereen / James White gets it. And then, of course, last but not least, hey, Stephon. Hey, girl. Gilly. We've been with you all season, right? Yeah, man, we're your biggest fans, Stephon Gilmore. We never doubted you for a second. We knew you had it in you. The $65 million football equivalent of J.D. Drew's $70 million ALCS Grand Slam from 2007. What a play. When that happened, when he just, look at this. Look at that. I can't jump that high.
I'm flying.
He leaps that high sideways. I know. Are you not hearing?
See, if Tom Coughlin was coaching this game, that ball would have ended up like right about there on his helmet and would have been.
It would have landed in the back of his jersey. Oh my God, the Westbrook jersey catch!
That's what I was waiting for.
What an incredible play.
Yeah.
Gilmore literally just went from like goat to goat.
I know. Well,
wrong goat, right goat.
And not Malcolm Butler's best game either. And he's kind of had an up and down year. And so now it's like to go from like, I love Butler so much, we can't rely on Stephon Gilmore. And now you're like, well, maybe bye, Malcolm. Thanks.
Absolutely amazing.
Just to, Mick Smith here, asked what Belichick's going to wear in the Super Bowl. Probably have to save that, but I mean, he went with the hot jacket here in the AFC Championship, which is his now all-time winningest. We did a show on it. It surpassed the gray hoodie. So after that bombshell of the blue Reebok hoodie in the divisional round, he went back to Old Faithful. It was a warm day. He was able to wear the hot jacket. And thank you. And speaking of hot jackets, we're scratching 200 viewers right now. 200
viewers. Wow,
thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
Tune in. What a journey it's been from when it was just us and we were just videotaping this with our It's been a while. I mean,
and now our show's getting so big, Ryan Seacrest is going to have to host it.
Mike's
out. We're going to get kicked out. Yep, that's it. Deuce is out. Fitz
Sorry,
is
guys.
out. That's it. It's going to be Seacrest and one of those other guys. All right. Well, keep the viewer questions coming in, you guys. Love it. Let's see. George Larish, the Patriots will be wearing white for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Huge.
Came out a few minutes ago. Toss to whites. Sorry.
Was that another Abraham Lincoln? No.
No, there's got to be another uncomfortable presidential joke in there, but we'll walk away from it for now. The Pats will be wearing their away whites, even though they are the home team. The Patriots are 3-1 historically wearing white jerseys in the Super Bowl. The one loss, of course, was Super Bowl 31 against the Packers down in NOLA, but otherwise in the Brady era, they wore them against the Eagles in Super Bowl 39, win. They wore them in Super Bowl 49, win, and of course last year in Super Bowl 51, dub. So I think Belichick's writing a little history with this one. Some people are already trying to second guess it, like blue was due. Like
blue was due.
How do you know?
There's another T-shirt. We got all these.
Everything's gonna
white
be
is right. Blue is due.
White is right. Blue was due. I don't know. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You good with the whites?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's nice and crisp, clean look, and
I do. I like it.
It's not. I assume it's artificial turf, obviously, up there.
Yeah,
in the dome,
it's one of the. It's like torn tires.
There was something fun about 49 where Brady got a little grassy. You don't really see that as much anymore.
In Arizona.
Kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I like him being on the ground.
This is a cool stadium too. Yeah. I've been out there. I'm flying out on Sunday, so I'll be sure to share.
I'm flying
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Champagne on that flight.
Yes, on my 5:30 flight in the morning.
He's got to bring his puppet.
Yep.
He's bringing his
Oh,
puppet.
sorry. I should have rickshawed. Yeah, I took Uber Shaw. It's like an Uber share, but on a rickshaw.
Yeah,
I'll get out there Wednesday or whatever.
we're trying to figure out
I was gonna say I'll be sharing content and whatever I can here on the Patshow page. So please stay tuned before our final episode. However, if you guys want to bust my footballs, go ahead. Fine. Be jelly. Don't care. Ignore the noise.
Is the Fitzy puppet a carry-on, or do we have to buy him his own seat? That's what we're trying to figure.
Fitzy puppet is 100% coming as a therapy puppet.
He's in a cage, like one of those little cat cages where he's like in there. And
I want a picture of him on the plane.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Oh, is that your
And then the
dog?
7 people that are going to be like, is that guy actually have a effing puppet?
And then you just sort of like, what are you talking about, lady?
Yeah.
Look at the flight attendants for more booze.
I start hitting on people with the puppet. Yeah, I'll just grab. It's controlled with like an arm stick and the thing. Hey, Toots, how about some more? Who do I got to do to get some honey roasted peanuts on here?
Flight from New England, they would love it. They would love it, right?
Tonight, an unfortunate story is a plane to Minneapolis had to be diverted back to Boston for puppet misconduct. Hi, I'm insert name of Spanish woman here. Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Anyway, great game. Awesome
game.
AFC
Let's see
Championship. I agree with you.
yeah.
Don't sweep it under the carpet.
No,
that's not
it's
just like another one of
That's
those.
a big one, man. That's
that's huge
all things
win.
considered amazing. But let's check out some of the Tweedia, the best of the
Yeah.
best of media that we
Let's do
saw.
a little Pat's Tweedia, the best of your tweets, videos, and more. All right, so let's see. What do we got here?
And keep the questions coming because we'll do another little Q&A session after we blast through these. And we
Mike,
love
take it
hearing
away.
from you guys. And yeah, so let's roll. All right, so we're just now at this point, every Brady win, you're going to have some records falling. So 4th career playoff win, starting QB, trailing by 10 points in the 4th quarter. No other quarterback has more than 1.
Wow.
It's the system. It's the system.
Yeah, Sis Tom.
It's just Tom. If only every other quarterback had that system, they would have
Right.
multiple comebacks in the 4th quarter of playoff games.
Total system. I like to call it the Tom Cyclone. Yeah, it's a Tomogenesis. Next. Yep,
There we
that's
go.
the show.
Here
That's
comes
the
the
show.
video.
Oh, we got some video?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Awesome. What do we got? Oh, I love this. This is Belichick in his post-game press conference. The emotions from Belichick were awesome. The hug with Patricia was amazing. He said yesterday on the radio that he said, like, it was a super emotional game for them. They couldn't believe they got swept up in it the same way that we were all like, our team just won the Super Bowl last year, but we're having heart attacks. He said blood pressure was as high as he could ever remember it on the sidelines. They all said the fans were the loudest they'd ever heard them in the
Yeah.
stadium. And then Belichick gets to the press conference afterwards, and you'd expect him to just be heaping praise all over everyone. But apparently maybe there's a little truth to some discord inside, and of course they thrive
Come
on
on, Nick.
it. Oh, come on.
Ah,
Well,
come
all right.
on.
Well, why is he
Boo.
saying this then?
Why don't you go on WEI? He's just a salty old football coach. It's like, all right,
That's true.
easy.
No,
like
he's-
we're talking about some
I'm-
stitches. Like he didn't. Let the.
He spent 2 decades praising Brady. What else is he going to say?
I mean, look, Tom did a great job, and he's a tough guy. We all know that. All right, but not talking about open heart surgery here.
It's football time. It's football time.
Exactly.
Sick burn alert.
Oh, it's just an old football coach kind of thing. I love it. It's just, the guys are tough. Like, it's like, come on. Like, he just went out there and won that game with an amazing performance.
In a lot of ways, that's almost like if Brady played Belichick in like pickup hoops in the driveway, and Brady won, and he's like, yeah, Tom should have won that game. I mean, I'd be impressed too if I beat a man 30 years older than me. And it's just sort of like, wow,
I know.
dickety doo dah. I kind
love
of like
it.
it.
I love it.
I know, but Robert Kraft did say before the game though that after the season he wants to have a little presser. He wants to have a little get together with everyone. Probably fly him down to Florida.
summit?
Yeah, he wants to have like a beer summit. He wants to have an Obama Bud Light beer summit with everybody. Jonathan, I want more than Bud Light for this one.
Dude, we got to get your Robert Kraft is just impeccable. I think we need a Robert Kraft puppet here for Patshow season 2.
Anything less than the 18-year-old Lafroy, and I'm out.
He did it. What was the one last year? You did it. What did he say? It was all awkward.
Yeah.
What was?
Yeah, and he was when he accepted the Lamar Hunt last year. He's like, you guys have been awesome today, but we're gonna go win 1 and then just froze. One more what? One more game, one more Super Bowl, one more game of bingo.
Get a little
He's the
puppet,
best.
white collar, blue shirt.
Oh,
You know, we'll get the whole
I
thing.
want one
All right,
so bad.
Patshow season 2.
Also, we got, speaking of the Lamar Hunt Trophy, the La Hunt, the AFC Championship Trophy. We all love it. Kraft loves it. It looks like
exciting.
it looks like a little something that could spin and take you to another dimension. You know who's not a huge fan of it? This guy.
Yeah, here you go, Jonathan.
Yeah, there you go, Jonathan.
Hold that
another
for me.
paper. They literally pass around what like all these other teams crave and would like sacrifice their young for.
Yeah.
Like paperweight.
It would have been almost better if he just tossed it over his head and Linda just like grabbed it. You know, it's just
Right.
like
Or Dola caught it and we're just like, boom.
I don't know.
Do you think, by the way, the fact that Dola is now sort of like getting into like now Dola and Brady's a thing? Is Edelman secretly sitting
Totally.
at home just like
Totally. That's why Edelman didn't take his dip out for his pump video. It's a sign of like, you know, protest. Like, you know, he's like,
yeah?
you moved on without me, Tom. You know, he's
know.
gonna be stalking him like, let's throw some balls. He's like, me and Danny got this. You know, they're out in Montana this offseason
Right.
with Amendola. You know, like, sorry,
Remember me,
Jules.
Tom? It's like
How's your knee injury?
Edelman's like in a Cymbalta commercial, just leaning against a rainy window. Like, I remember when I was his number one boo. He was.
To be somebody.
He was my bae, Brady above everyone. All right, let's see. Next, what do we got? Here we go. Joel Klatt. This was a great tweet, Mike.
Oh, this just sums it up, right? To all the people who are just so miserable and sick of the Patriots, it's like, why do so many people seem to hate achievement, accomplishment, and greatness? The problem likely lies within you. I mean, no
Edelman,
Edlerman,
Gronk,
run game, 10 stitches. I mean, it's what we said, down 10 with 10 minutes to play. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's if you can't appreciate that, why are you watching football? You know, it's like you're just so angry. You know, I mean, come on.
People hate the Pats.
Well, they had deflated footballs again, Mike, and that was what happened again. You know, the refs gave it to them. And like,
Yep, they did.
The cheating in this game is rampant. The cheating is rampant in the NFL. It's so bad, the cheating.
But how about the fact that, like, after I think it was like Dola's, was it the first touchdown? And all the Pats gather around the ref, and he's like smiling or laughing. And now, like, NFL memes and all these other online portals that post great content all pointed to it, and they were like, the referee was laughing, the referee was cheering after the Patriots scored a touchdown. It's because Cam Fleming, who's like 6 foot everything, 300 and something, backed into the guy and stepped on his foot, and they all ran over like, sorry, and he laughed it off. But no, just because a ref smiled when the Patriots were on the field after they scored a touchdown, Smilegate broke out and was trending immediately afterwards.
smoking gun. Finally, a smoking gun.
Yeah, finally. Let's see. Next one. Patriots SB49, 11th playoff game-winning drive for Brady. As many as Montana and Elway combined. Montana overcame one 10-point second-half deficit. Brady has overcome 5, including, again, I just feel like we're just piling it on. At this point now, like, the praise you heap on Tom Brady for his postseason accomplishments is like ribeye, and then you're just like, and here's these perfectly cooked shrimp, and now we're gonna some Chilean sea bass, and here's 2 grilled lobster tails on top of it, and here's some like foie gras, and here's like some vanilla ice cream with salted caramel on top. It's just like getting a little caviar.
Yeah,
Hungry.
I know. I would eat that, by the
Hungry
way.
for a Super Bowl.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, in the Super Bowl, it's
Nice.
gonna
I like that one. Hungover Pat's guy's coming around.
It's going to be like every single thing he does in the Super Bowl is going to be, and that was a record of Tom Brady grabbing a towel off the sideline, 75th time in a Super Bowl. You know, every single thing he does is going to be a record, you know, like, no matter how mundane.
That's the 47th time Tom Brady has made accidental eye contact with a man in the stands and made them have trouble with their pants.
Well, there's no debating that.
No. Hashtag Brady boner. All right, next. Pablo Torre with Get Ready Philadelphia. There is no greasier pole than the New England Patriots. Might be, that could have been the tweet of Sunday because the Philadelphia, like the contained Philadelphia jubilation celebration riots, the riot jubilations were insane. I mean, you got somebody basically riding a Batmobile up the steps of the library from Rocky. You've got people like surfing on cars, shirtless guys wearing eagle masks, like absolute hysteria. But the police, to curtail the rioting, greased all of the street poles, like the light poles and the telephone poles, so people couldn't climb them.
Yeah,
Whose
well,
job was that?
safety first.
Yeah.
Safety first. I know.
I'll tell you whose job it used to be. This guy before I got a promotion thanks to my confidence in the Pets.
Pole greaser. I know you were. It's a tough first job.
It's a tough one.
Assistant.
You really got to
pole
think
greaser.
long and hard when somebody sends you a request to connect on LinkedIn and you're like, oh, pole greaser. I don't know about that one.
I mean, you
That
imagine
sounds
that. Like that morning of work, you come in and they're like, guys, all right, so the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. We got to go out and grease all the lights. They're like, what the fuck? This is how
Again,
you got to
Chief?
spend your pregame, like, I'm a police,
Where do you get this much Vaseline on short notice?
I haven't.
All right, next.
Been stockpiling for 57 years.
There it is.
Buddies.
Close to you.
It's like, Bill's like,
love
I don't know
that.
about that first half, but all right.
Yeah, I love those big post-game hugs.
Yeah.
I love Belichick doesn't know how to celebrate. He's just the Belichick program. Just nobody typed in nobody put in the code for proper celebration. Because you'd see at the end of the game he was doing the awkward claps, which are sort of like a caffeinated skull, and then he was waving his hand, and then there was just a little bit of this and little Belichick Macarena, and I love that. He's so wonderfully awkward because he's just not prepared for it, but it does lay within. There's still a beating heart in there, but it's just so thunderously awkward.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Oh, it's...
And last two, real quick. You saw this, caught this one, Mike. This is great.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, poor New Yorkers, it's choosing between the two teams you probably hate the most, and now the Empire State Building is lit up in their colors.
I know.
The comments were great. The comments were great.
Sucks to be from New York right now.
So.
Worst nightmare for New York.
This is
happening. It's the
I know.
apocalypse.
I wonder if the ratings will actually be down for the Super Bowl in New York just because so many of them are going to be the Eagles, mortal enemy of the Giants and mortal enemy of the Jets in the Super Bowl.
I know.
Well, I love it.
Enjoy it.
More shrimp on top of that salted caramel ice cream. More steak. And finally, our pal Jerry Thornton tweeted this out. I had the joy and pleasure of watching the game with him. Jerry knows how to put on a game face. I love it when people that you love hanging out with, don't freak out that you freak out, and they freak out in their own right too. Jerry writes, if Pats win in 2 weeks, they will have beaten, speaking of familiar roads, NFC West winner, NFC South Eagles. Man, I'm telling you, time in Foxborough is a flat circle.
Yeah, it really is. It's remarkable how many things are, just like they were the first time around. So hopefully Nick Foles is throwing up on the side, throwing up on the field before that final drive. It all works out.
My dad knows a guy that works for security for the Eagles. I'm going to put Epicac in his body armor drink before the game. We'll catch our flight back to Chelsea. My mom's steak tips will barely be cold. Let's do it. There you go. There's the best to tweet you. All right. And now we make our way to the EBZ, the Electro Breakdown Zone, where Mike is going to show you one of the most important plays.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're gonna show the play first, just so you can see it happen live, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about it. So this is the Danny Amendola 3rd and 18 play, which really was Pats are hanging by a thread, just like they were in Super Bowl 49, and this is what they pulled out.
Loose, as it's a 3rd and 18, pocket sealed for a moment. Brady's able to throw it. And they convert on 3rd and 18. That's a huge play for the Patriots.
I mean, that was
with the catch for 21.
That was the here we come.
Look at this play.
You're going to see right up top.
Sees it coming, shift to his left.
Looks off the linebacker's left.
So Brady, with his bad hand, is shifting to his left, throws a little bit against his body.
Yeah.
20-some-odd yards on 3rd and 18, up the seam into triple zone coverage, and drops it in the one place it can be caught.
Yeah. Well, let's take it on the EBZ and take a look here. Yeah. You get a better look at my shirt here. There you go. Very stable genius indeed. So look, key situation, and this is where you kind of felt like, all right, this is going to be another Patriots comeback, right? I mean, until this point, this falls incomplete. Good chance they go down, they score, da-da-da-da. So just the kind of concept that they're showing here is that they're basically just clearing out the middle of the field. So you've got Cooks on the wide end, you've got Philip Dorsett on the right, and they're just going to go and stay outside so that they just draw the safeties out. You're in a kind of look like a cover 2 shell a little bit because the middle of the field was open. A lot of guys focusing on James White as he came out of the backfield, which pulled them to the left. So basically, it just, and you got to give the protection credit. They were great all day. You talk about those guys. I mean, we talk all about the front, how fast they are. I mean, Cam Fleming, you were having heart palpitations about Cam Fleming earlier this year, and came in.
Understandably so. He's he's their
he's like the he's the backup. No, he's the third string right tackle.
Yeah.
Because Adrian got hurt and he was not playing. He was inactive, and so we had Cam Fleming, and then what was it? Cole Croston was the only other.
Yeah.
Who is he?
It's razor thin right now. So hopefully, I think Adrian's supposed to be LeBack.
I think he'll be LeBack. Just in time for the Super Bowl, which makes me feel a little bit better.
Delivers my newspapers, Nick. Thank you.
Adrian does?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
What's up with the LeBurn? That's an insult. Right? That's my guy, man.
Yeah, watch out. He'll come after you on Twitter. So, just a great play. And obviously Brady moving in the pocket, something that he's so good at, buying a little bit of extra time as things kind of, that's what just makes Brady so special. Just so calm. And Amendola, just a great throw across and just got in a place where only Amendola could get it. It's, again, I don't know. I got to look if it's the exact play that we saw from Edelman in Super Bowl 49, where that was, 3rd and 14, I think you said earlier was what it was.
Yeah, the Edelman one in SB 49, which was a dart straight up the middle.
Same concept, clear out the middle, your most reliable receiver. And let's just let it play here. Let's see what happens. I don't know how it's going to go. Here we go.
I think this will be a pretty accurate rep. Yep, that's exactly how it played out. Hit him, Tommy, hit him. Yep, the safety went back, and he got, look, he came wide open there, yeah.
We won.
Whoa. And an explosion of sounds from the crowd at Gillette.
Electro breakdown, guys.
Wild.
Huge play. Huge play. Danny Amendola. Super clutch.
Checking in, guys, during the EBZ. We have Mike, we have our first bold prediction. Todd King, friend of mine, helps run the New England Patriots fan club down in North Carolina. Todd, I forget exactly what you call it these days, but they're awesome. I've gone down there and hosted some events for them before. Todd King weighing in, saying, Pats always have a forgotten soldier step up out of the shadows. I think it's going to be Dwayne Allen, who is the forgotten one. However, I think Hogan is going to light the Eagles up. It's go time. Remember, you can't spell Hogan without go.
I think Dwayne Allen, huge block on the Dion Lewis clinching run. And,
right.
And so I think that's an area where he can contribute. If Gronk couldn't go, they still, they get some toughness out of him. And, you just got to like the guy. I hate to be like, you want to just kind of value the player. But he's a real good guy. He seems like he's fit in well. Maybe he's not the receiver people kind of hoped he would be, but he's an effective blocker. Hogan, 2 catches. That was, you got to get more out of him. You got to get more out of him. And he played more than any of the other wide receivers.
Well, the Eagles' corners are not the strength. They're not the highlight of the defense. They got the Darby guy from, don't they have?
From the Bills.
From the Bills.
Formerly known as.
I couldn't name the rest of the safeties and corners. I don't know who else.
Malcolm
in the secondary.
Jenkins, real good. They use him in a variety of ways. In the box, he's going to be a problem.
He returned that touch. He picked off the ball that Brady threw at the goal line in 2015.
I blocked that out.
That you blocked that. Like right in 2015, the year that almost was and still was only a Gost shank away in Denver. That Eagles game. Like Harper's Muff is the #1 moment of 2015.
We're going down a dark
we're
tunnel,
not going
right?
down there again. But #2 is the Ebner Puchkick game. When was the last time the Pats and the Eagles played?
Yeah.
And the Patriots looked like the vastly superior team that day, or at least they should have been.
Until
the Pooch kick, and then Brady got picked for 100, and then what's his face? The little tiny. We're
What's
number
that little
43
tiny guy
for the Eagles. Like he's like
Darren
smaller.
Sproles?
What's that? Sproles. Like he makes Dion Lewis look like Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
He is a tiny human being.
Yeah, little Sproles.
But Sproles is great.
Yeah.
Always burned up the Pats. Be interesting to see who really is going to be the focal point for the Patriots offense attacking the Eagles defense. I think without any hot takes to take down because, the world already did all their bitching and moaning about the Pats. I think we can kind of comfortably now take.
Is Wahlberg allowed to go to
Oh,
No,
come on,
no,
Enemy of the
no.
show, Mark Wahlberg. He's our changing his story.
No.
I got to see Mark Wahlberg sit through an entire terrible Patriots loss until he gets his fan cred back with me because I feel like he's, forget this Super Bowl. They're going to lose. I'm out.
We got Josh Misif. He says, Vince Papale ain't walking through that door. Interesting. That does raise an interesting point because Mark Wahlberg, who's like now Mr. #1 Patriots super fan, who walks out of the Super Bowl because my kid's having a swearing
My
fit.
friggin' kid was swearing too much.
My kid's having a swearing fit. I've never heard that one before. That's amazing. He played Vince Papale in Invincible.
Yeah.
And now, so he's like,
Yeah, go root for them,
Are they
Mark.
like literally running to every last video store in Philadelphia and just like burning copies of that movie this week? Papali's dead to me. It's your Silver Linings Playbook. Yeah, I'm gonna run every video. I'm gonna run every West Coast video in New England and burn Silver Linings Playbook.
That's interesting. We will probably get some Bradley Cooper action this week. I think we'll get Bradley because isn't he a real Eagles fan? I believe maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my God! Just all the story. Here's the worst of what's gonna come up over the next couple of weeks. Cheesesteaks versus lobster rolls. Italian wedding soup versus clam chowder. Yingling versus Sam Adams. I know. The mayor. The bets should get really interesting. Like, what kind of bet would you really love to see them make? Like, I'll let you launch one tactical missile at my city. Or like, you can load up, or just like, I'll let you crash one blimp full of whipped cream into the building of your choice.
Like something interesting.
Or just
least.
like, you lose the bet, you have to shut off your city's sewer system for a day. Let's just do it. No, you're full of S. Oh, really? We'll find out who's full of S. Losing city has to shut off the sewers for a day.
Nick, we got a real good one here from Matt Rinaldi, who's a great commenter, always hitting us up. It's a kind of a request for you. I don't know. It's down near the bottom. He wants you to do a little reading in your best NFL Films voice. So if your throat's up for it.
With no Hightower, Edelman, or Gronk. Missing practices all week with stitches in his hand. Age 40. And in the fourth quarter, down by 10 against the best defense in all the land, he wins the game. That is what it means to be Tom Brady.
Wow.
There you go, huh?
Yeah. Epic. It just feels epic. It feels epic.
I wanted everyone to know that I got tight in the bathing suit zone just talking about it. Tom Brady.
Any other questions before we get into our preview? You want my shirt? You want his shirt? You can buy it from there. Brady used to milk cows in Minnesota. That's awesome.
One quick question. Butch Young Jr. throwing it out there. Do the Pats kick or receive if they win the toss?
It's always defer, right?
Well,
I think you want to tell. I think you want to tell the Eagles, like, all right,
yeah,
we're not going to let Ajayi and Blunt beat us, so go get them, Foles.
I just love coming out of the locker room at halftime knowing you're getting the ball. Like that just always, it just makes you feel so much better. Like just because you're down, you're up. It's such a chance to just like set the tone for the end of the game.
Hey,
and I think Belichick agrees with me. Go ahead, sorry.
No, please. One thing, actually, something Brady has talked about a little bit following the Super Bowl, and then whenever it comes up, although he never likes to talk about a game that he's trying to play for but isn't there yet for jinx sake, is that I guess just because they've had a chance to play in so many now, I'm 8. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dick Van Patten. 8 is not enough. Is that Brady's like, the halftime is so long, you almost have to like condition yourself to wait. Like Martellus Bennett last year saying like we were in better shape for the Super Bowl because Belichick had us running hills in late January.
Yeah.
Just getting ready. He's like, you need that extra reserve to be able to call on in the third and the fourth quarter. So I think the Pats, and now we've got enough guys that have been in both 49 and especially coming off 51 last year.
They know.
I think they will be extremely well conditioned. And even though Nick Foles has played pretty damn well coming off the bench for who would have been Super Bowl MVP, regular season MVP Carson Wentz, and now it's time for Tom Brady to prove that a likely NFL MVP can win the Super Bowl. I think the guy that the eye-patched fan the other night on live TV called Big Dick Nick, legitimately, a kid.
Your nickname from high school?
A kid literally wearing an eye patch stepped in front of a live shot and told a man carrying a microphone, yeah, Wentz went down, but then Big Dick Nick stepped in. And the reporter was like, all right, back to studio.
Just like we're going to do.
Oh, man.
Just a couple things here. Mick Smith points out they did take the ball versus Tennessee. And I think that's kind of a situation where you want to put somebody, when you really feel you're superior, you want to put somebody in an early hole. Another thing I'll point about halftime, too, is it's quiet, especially, not really as much in the Super Bowl, but a little quieter, especially you're on the road. People are still out getting their beers, getting warm. So that's a little thing. And if you want to know where to get Nick's shirt, townienews.com. Just released another great one today as well. Danny Amendola.
My buddy Marlon at I Love Boston Sports makes this Brady Superman one, but all my shirts are available. store.townienews.com. The Dola just went up this morning. The most clutch shirt you could add to your postseason wardrobe. let's just do a little final Super Bowl 52 preview here and kind of give everyone what they think. Thoughts around, all right, so Patriots' average margin of victory is 4 points in the 5 Super Bowls they won in the Tom Brady era. Average margin of defeat in the 2 that they lost to the Giants, 3.5 points. So the spread is 5.5. It's opened at 6. It's down to 5.5. I say it goes down to that spread goes down to like 4 or 4.5. I think there's going to be a lot of money on the Eagles in this game.
I don't know how you can expect anything other than a game that's going to go down to the last possession, probably the last play. That's going to go either way. I mean, it's just always how they go. And the last couple, they've gone their way, and the previous couple before that, they didn't go their way. They just always seem to play a good game. And, I mean, that's funny, too, is like people complaining about the Patriots being back in the Super Bowl. They're always amazing games. I mean, we went to overtime last year. I mean, I know everyone hates us and doesn't want to see us there, but it makes for good football watching.
Without the Pats, I'm sure the NFL breathed a sigh of relief. They got a huge media market like Philadelphia. I mean, they would have won either way in the NFC, but as much fun as it may have been to some to see the Pats get dethroned and then have a new team rise to the occasion, like to not only just have a big old media market like New England, but also just have the bad guy. Everyone's going to want the bad guy in there. And so now everybody can take part in this new semi-annual tradition of becoming a fan of whatever team plays against the Patriots. So hurry up, get your Eagles jerseys, or get your white jersey that's made of dry erase board and your little wipe away markers, right? And you can just write "World's Biggest Eagles Fan." Make sure the tag's still on it because you're gonna have to return it with get a free slice of humble pie in the return line Monday morning day after the Super Bowl. All right? Yeah. I can't wait. Here's a good, just to give you a little idea of how things may go. Pats obviously with the #1 passing offense, most yards in the NFL. Eagles only gave up the 4th. Eagles were 4th in terms of yards allowed in the NFL this year. That's a stout defense. The name you'll hear tossed around a bunch is the man that's impossible to toss around. Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
Oof. That's a lot of person.
Yeah.
That is a lot of person. And he's damn good at clogging up the middle. So you can see them trying to game plan around that. Brandon Graham, defensive end, had a great year for the Eagles.
Yep.
Chris Long, veteran savvy, getting in again. Not a ton of plays, played about as much as he did last year for the Pats, but made plays when he needed to. I saw him getting in there again against Keenum last Sunday.
Little better scheme fit for him, just kind of a situational rusher, and he can still get the job done. They got a lot of, it's the same thing. It's another really good defense. It's got good speed. Fletcher Cox makes it all work in the middle with just, really dominating at the line of scrimmage, and they're all going to have their work cut out for them. You really hope that Gronk is back. You hope that Burkhead is not Burke dead anymore.
Right. He did get hit pretty hard, and after he dropped that ball, I thought he was.
It's like Rex Burkhead's back in the game. Rex Burkhead's back out of the game.
He fled from the field, and then Burke said, "I think Rex is Burke dead."
So you'd love to just have him to give Dion some blows, but it's one of those games. It's going to be a great matchup, and I would love to have a Patriots game that isn't like giving me heart palpitations, but don't expect it.
27-10 would be amazing.
No.
Just 23-9, fine. Just something where you just like it's never really in doubt. But we'll learn early on, because if the Eagles are going to try to go vertical and maybe see if they can sneak in some big plays. Obviously, the Pats' run defense has played wonderfully the last couple of games.
Yeah,
it got stouter as the year went on. Ricky Jean's been great. Malcolm Brown, Lawrence Guy. I love that guy.
Yeah, that guy. More than just a guy.
More than no ordinary guy. He's been great. It's Guy. It's Laurence Guy.
All French.
At PFF_Zoltan put out something interesting earlier on Twitter that I thought you guys may want to know. Lowest passer rating allowed on go routes in the regular season. #1, Chicago Bears, 28.2. That's pretty damn good. Eagles tied, 28.2. Right behind the Eagles, believe it or not. New England Patriots, 28.5. League average of 61.2, which is still,
very low.
Yeah, a lot of huge plays this year in the NFL, but the Pats are stout against the long ball as well. So considering Foles has been kind of just heave-ho, let it go, I'll be very curious to see what they do against Aguilar. It sounds like a very exotic area, just like, we ride now, come for Aguilar.
The receiver's kind of Patriotsy, where it's just like,
Jeffrey
there's not like a great, what I mean? Jeffrey was great. I mean, he had a great game, a big guy. I mean, he's going to be challenging. But I don't know. I mean, you think Stephon Gilmore, interception or two.
They got two good tight ends, though. Who's this other kid? Zach Ertz has had an awesome season, but there's this other tight end who's been playing great for the Eagles, Trey Burton.
Oh, yeah. I liked him coming out as a Patriot guy. I mean, do it all, mobile guy. And,
Yeah. Trey Burton.
Great guy to give
watch
the
out for
Patriots
that.
problems because, covering.
If you're
flat.
making prop bets, sometimes there's always one name you've never heard of that scores against the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Totally. That's by design.
It's going to be I'd say Trey Burton. I don't think Torrey Smith scores. Alshon Jeffrey, I think they'll be able to. He hasn't had the greatest of seasons for a guy who got 14 mil. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. That'll come
$14 million.
9 catches, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's don't let Jeffrey beat us. I mean, that's probably the first talking point of the whole thing.
And of course, the two-headed monster, Blunt and Ajayi.
See, but the thing is, I liked what he brought, but he has trouble getting going, and it's like they know you get him in the backfield and he doesn't have that clear. You can't let him get into the second level because that's where he's dangerous. He's hard to tackle for defensive backs. You need to snuff him out immediately.
Early. Right, and he's not going to break him off to the side as well. But hey, at the same time, much respect for blunt force trauma.
Yeah.
Beloved Patriot, but sorry.
Yeah.
O'Doyle, you're going down on Sunday. I got for prediction. I got Pats 23, Eagles 19. 23-19.
Yeah.
23-19. Yeah, no, it's going to be in the balance. It won't be field goal. We just had a 4-pointer. We just had 24-20.
Yeah.
I'll just knock a point off for fun. 23-19 Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2017 Patriots. Last
already I want to
defensive
throw
stand.
up at both of our
Sorry,
predictions.
I know, right? I mean, yeah. There they are.
You want to play this?
The dogs.
Look at this. This is how little they care. The purge is on in Philadelphia. It is complete fanarchy down there.
That's actually players, Chris. That's Chris Long and some young guy there.
That's awesome. He's done a great job. Chris Long's done a great job.
I mean, if he
down
gets a second Super Bowl, that'll be my. Well, Chris Long got a second Super. That'll be the silver lining.
The fact that there's NFL selling these shirts and he tweets at them and is like, "Yo, NFL, how about donating the proceeds from those shirts to charity?" Because he gave up his whole salary this year. This is a game where Eagles fans. There's a great thing yesterday that was traveling around. Eagles fans, possibly the only awful thing that could make America finally root for the Patriots. Because Eagles fans are pretty rough. I mean, they destroyed Jacksonville. The only hope for Minneapolis, #pray for Minneapolis, is that it's so cold Eagles fans can't destroy that beautiful city. But at the same time, it's hard to hate these Eagles. Fun team. Wentz was awesome.
I know. It's too bad. You'd love to see Wentz in there. I mean, that Super Bowl would be exciting. But he's not,
I'm fine
so
with Foles, though.
We'll
Great.
do it.
You know what? I hope we're sitting here in 2 weeks talking about how article after article about Brady only had to go through Mariota and Bortles and Foles. Right. When I watch the Super Bowl 52 DVD 20 years from now, that's what I'll be telling myself and my kids too.
Yeah.
Well, kids, this one isn't really as fun to watch. Actually, when it's projected on Holovision, or when the Tom Brady Tupac Shakur hologram is actually doing plays in the kitchen. So there we go. All right, any final comments? Let's see what you guys got. Yes, Todd, we are the home team. Wouldn't that be blue? But they were given the option. The home team is given the option, so they went white.
Yeah.
There's going to be a run on Depends with scores that close. Thank you very much, Donna Purcell. Doug Peterson. What are you doing on here, Doug Peterson? How about that?
It's going to be 25.
Yeah, Doug Peterson. Going to be a close game. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your comments. Thanks for all the participation, not only today, but throughout the season. It's meant the world to us. It's helped us build this up from just a little something on Tuesdays for fun and fanalysis. Yeah, from nothing to something. We went from nothing to something in a couple months' time. We're not sure if there's going to be another show pre-Super Bowl. There might be something next week. If there is, we'll let you know in advance. And if so, it might be live from the Midwest. So we'll see about that. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Who knows?
Just share the show and help us
Exactly.
get the word out. And that you guys have been great helping us, and we love interacting. And you've been the reason why it's getting a lot more traction now. And please continue to share it with your Patriot fan friends, and hopefully
totes
keep going up.
Right, exactly. And make sure the Packy is on speed dial. Don't bite save your fingernails. You're going to need them in 2 weeks. If you know where that emergency pack of smokes is around the house, I may make sure there's also a working pack of matches or a lighter. It's going to be great. Share your recipes with us. Go to the Patshow page on Facebook. Post your party pictures. Give us your rally videos. Everything. We'll share them. We'll tweet them, because this is a community. This show has been built by fans for fans. And that's the only reason why we still do it. That in the hope of somebody sponsoring us next year. All right, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the post-AFC Championship pre-Super Bowl 52 Pat Show. Here's a little last gift. Consider this the mint on the pillow on the way out the door, even though that's not how it works in hotels. Here's our upon further review. Mike, this week we have?
Just a beautiful moment between two beautiful people. I know. The look on Nick's face watching that was just like...
No, legit. I'm not sure who I wanted to be more, Culpo or Dola. That's a lot of love.
You got this one too. Nice little kiss from G. Was this the best? Was this the best hug of the game though? Was it the best hug of the game?
Well,
I don't know.
That's right.
There's one other hug. Oh, yeah! All right. Two beautiful people.
Thanks, guys. This has been so much fun. We'll talk to you soon. Let's go, Pats. We are the Storm. Not done. Blitz for 6. LFG. All the hashtags. Keep in touch. We'll talk to you soon. And now, it's on to that camera. And on to Minneapolis. Let's go, Pats! Yeah!